able to take away from today's conversation will really make the difference for you. Come to the chat room quickly to drop that as I take you on to share what it is that I have with us tonight. So my eyes are in the chat room. I'm looking forward to reading what you're writing. What is that one question you would like answered today? That if you're able to get that answer, it will make a difference in your dating life. Like I said, we will be discussing what every seasoned single must learn about how smart singles choose the right one. So, just for context, you're wondering who is a matured single? Who is a seasoned single? I like to always take it beyond age. Because sometimes when people are talking about matured singles, they are just referring to people based on their age. But for us here, a seasoned single is one who has achieved or is achieving things in other areas of their lives, but then the relationship box is still unchecked. Maybe because they've never been in a relationship, they have been in relationships and it didn't work. They have been in marriages and they had to come out of that marriage either because it was draining, it was toxic, or the passing of a loved one. So, beyond age, a seasoned single is that person who has garnered life experiences. It's that person who is achieving in career, in business, in other areas of their life, but there's still something like a pain in the neck when it comes to relationships. Those are the people that I hope I will be having a time with. So I'm seeing Tochku is saying he's joining from River State. The rest of us, what do you want to achieve tonight? What is that one question that if I'm able to answer the question for you will really make a difference for you? Because at the Start Your Marriage Right Academy, we are committed to saving seasoned singles from their worst fears. So we help to prepare them for relationships, leveraging their life experiences so that it's not just something that just happened to them or even the success metrics that they have in other areas of their lives. How do they apply it to relationships so that they can attract and keep just the right partner that will give them joy and peace of mind? So, like I said, tonight, I just have these three things that I would like to share with you. And I guarantee you that if you hear very engaging, very participative, you will learn these things. One, I want to open your eyes to the top 5 fears that seasoned singles have that they rarely talk about. And as I'm talking about those fears, I will also be touching on how to overcome that fear. Then we will move on to 5 self-ignorant patterns that even in spite of your age, in spite of your life experiences, in spite of the things you may have achieved, may land you in the wrong relationships if you are not aware of them and if you don't start quickly to do something about them. And lastly, I will show you what you need as a seasoned single to land your Mr. or Mrs. Right. So I'm still asking that same question. What is that one question, one area for you that if tonight you are able to gain clarity on it, will help you navigate relationship better? I'm not seeing anyone writing that. So I'm wondering, why are you here? Oh, you just heard, okay, let's talk to season singles. Don't you have an expectation? What do you want? And I think maybe that is where I would even begin my conversation with you tonight. Because in life, if you don't know what you are expecting, that thing might just be right before you, but then you will not notice it because deep in your subconscious, your expectations are not well defined, your expectations are not clear, or even sadly, you don't even know that you're just going with the crowd without an expectation. So I ask again, what is that one question that if you can gain clarity on it tonight will make the difference for you in relationships? So Tochukwu is saying why divorce cases is on the rise these days by young couples who couldn't handle their marriage like veterans. My question to you will be, how will that help you choose the right one? Because remember, we have limited time tonight, and I'm going to stay laser focused on what we're discussing. Okay, let me introduce you to Somadina. Somadina is this thriving woman. Somadina turned 40 2 months ago. But prior to 2 months ago, in the past 5 years, Somadina was this woman who, from the onset, finished school, landed a good job, was growing in her career. It was almost like heavens was smiling on her. She got this lucrative job, she got her side business working, and as she was growing, she was also increasing her passive income and having investments and putting money into businesses. So you could say that Somadina was living that life, confident, blooming, money in the bank, good goodwill following her, and she was just that dream woman. But something was happening to Somadina. She went from the young man she was dating in the university, and after spending 3 years with him, they didn't materialize into marriage. The breakup was really, really devastating for her. She gets into the career world, she's rising. Then she begins to hear that she's a threat to young men around, because with the boom she was getting, she had gotten a home in a very lucrative area in Abuja, and she had some real estate investments in Lagos. Of course, driving a very good car, and could afford to take herself for vacations. And so the next thing on her plate was relationship, to get married. And so she threw herself into the dating world. And 5 years later, behold our Somadina, still making progress in career, still growing her businesses, but looking so drained, so helpless, so even having suffered severe heartaches. For some of them, it was somebody duping her for money just because they felt she was desperate for a relationship. In another, it was her hooking up with a man who she prefers to refer to as a boy, because though he was a man, he was still tied to his mother's aprons and could not make decisions for himself. And so she had to leave that relationship. In another instance, she met this young man who it felt like this was the person she could be in the relationship with. But alas, this young man had two children from a previous marriage and had very nasty things to say about his ex and was not involved in the life of his children. And she was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this with you if I don't see you involved in the life of your children. And the man could not understand that. But she said she didn't want to deal with somebody who was still unhealed himself. And so here was Somadina, still thriving in business, no relationship, heartbroken, wondering if it's the price she has to pay for her success. So I don't know where you are in your relationship life. Probably you are still in a relationship now. You don't know whether that's where you should be, Or you are trying to get in a relationship, but one thing keeps coming up. You're not being compatible with the people. You are not able to settle in. Even the dating scene is so draining for you. You are at this right place, and I'll show you what Somadina did and where she is right now. A true life story. Of course, some of the parts of the story change so that privacy can still be kept. But trust me, this story is shared with direct permission from the real person, even though her name has been changed for privacy reasons. All right. So let's get quickly into it. What are these 5 top fears seasoned singles have? Let me see if somebody has dropped what they want. Okay, I see Yemi say, I would like to identify what are the key considerations for a seasoned single. Fantastic. At the end of tonight, you will get that clarification. But let's look at the fears. The first fear, I'm not in any order of importance, just by way of listing, that seasoned singles have is that fear of wasting time. And so, what happens when they have that fear? Oh, I don't want to waste time in another relationship. I don't want to spend time again. And at the end, it will be with the wrong person. What this fear does is 2 things. Is either one, it puts them in a situation where they get into talking stage with someone, or even the relationship is growing and they spend time over analyzing. They literally become like a therapist for the person that they are dating. Again, because of their wild experiences. And so probably they are knowledgeable. And so once the person does something, they analyze it. Is this a narcissist? Is he gaslighting me? Is she asking for too much? So in that over analyzing, they lose the connection that is possible with that person. The second scenario to the fear of wasting time is they even avoid dating altogether. Why bother if this is going to be another failed venture? But tonight, I am going to show you how to overcome this fear. Because if you are able to detect red flags online, if you know what you should look out for in a relationship, you will not have to waste your time, because right from the onset, you would already have your markers, not to overanalyze, but to be secure in yourself, to notice even the subtle red flags that could be hidden in that relationship. Second fear, the fear of making, if Unai says, I think I'm in this fear of dating again, we'll look at how to overcome that together. Thank you for sharing that. Or rather, for admitting that. The fear of repeating past mistakes. I made this mistake. I trusted. I was people pleasing. I gave my whole heart. I did not reserve anything. Or to another person, I didn't just release myself. I held back, but see where it landed me. That's another fear that seasoned singles have. So, because they are afraid of making the same mistakes and attracting the same kind of hurt again. So what do? They keep their guard so high that nobody can get close. You see them, and even once they notice that someone is having an interest in them, or they are getting interested in someone, they shut down. You see in their faces, they are wearing strong faces, they're playing hard to get, they are inaccessible, they don't even socialize that much because, hey, I don't want to do another mistake. How do you overcome this fear? It is again for you, first of all, to ensure that you have drawn the lessons from your past mistakes. Many a times, people go through relationships and then they just move on because they shut down that pain. They refuse to confront it. But it is until you've confronted that you can even sieve out the wisdom from it. Maybe what you did rightly for the wrong person, or maybe what you did wrongly that you shouldn't repeat, or what you should have noticed and taken a walk on time. But if you don't analyze your past relationships and what happened, staying in the fear of repeating the mistakes still keeps you in that place where you cannot build a thriving relationship. The third fear, fear of rejection. Oh, like I was telling you, when Somadina was wrapped up in that time of her life, it was, oh, I have achieved so much. I hear that men are afraid of women who are achieving. How do I now know that this person that is coming for me really is interested in me and it's not because of what I have achieved? Is he a gold digger? What if, oh, with my baggage of my children, this person rejects me? Oh, what if I'm not able to get into this relationship? Because they say that if somebody has been divorced before, then there's a very strong likelihood for a second divorce, right? So because of this fear, you don't put yourself out there because you don't want to get turned down. And so what that does for you is that you shrink back. But yet your heart is yearning for relationship because human beings are designed for relationships. In fact, sometimes somebody was saying to me, my mom is almost 60 and she keeps talking that she wants to go on a date. She wants to meet her dream man. And I'm like, Mommy, you should slow down, leave this relationship thing for young people like us. And I said to the young man, what do you mean? Your mother is a human being. Human beings are desired for relationships. Why do you think that if she's approaching 60, she shouldn't be doing relationship? You see, so even within your circle could be people that even reject relationships for you. And so you're shrinking back and you're set. And sometimes what it could do is you settle for less than what you really want just because you want to be in a relationship and you get your fingers burnt. How do you ensure that you don't fall into that? It's by ensuring that you are secure in your identity and then you are validated in your need for companionship, in your need for relationship, whether your ex, your children, your parents, your friends, or whoever validates that. The fourth fear that I have seen in seasoned singles is the fear of missing the right one. Somebody said to me, I can't be getting married into a relationship at 45 and be doing nonsense. I need to get it right. And I get it. And she was like, if I have stayed this long, why should I can't miss the right one. In fact, if I miss the right one, that validates for me that even God himself hates me. So some of seasoned singles are caught in that fear. Oh, I don't want to miss the right person. Some people who may have even missed the right persons, and I'll share more as I talk about some of those unconscious self-ignorant patterns. Somebody said, I realized that I sabotaged the very good relationship that I had because again of some of those patterns he didn't know that he had in him. And so he was coming across great women who he could build partnership with. But by the time it dawned on him that he was the one who had the problem and he started to deal with himself, he realized, you know what? I have let good people slip away. Now I'm even afraid,
When
will
you
I
pray,
find
you will
the
not
right
miss
one?
it. God
So
will
what
even,
this
He will
fear will
let you know who
do
the
is
right
that
person
it
is.
makes you second guess yourself. I keep wondering why people are muting themselves. If you are not speaking and right about
listening
I'm the
to
only
a
one
Zoom meeting
speaking,
about somebody.
you should stay muted, please,
Uh,
because your
to
talking is interfering with my flow, okay? Thank you. You don't need to unmute yourself because you are not speaking. All right. So what this fear of missing out will do is that it makes you second guess your choice. So you really see some things that you should pay attention to, and you're wondering, is this really important? Should I really take cognizance of this? What if this is me overanalyzing? What if it is me, And so you're struggling with regrets. Let me speak to everyone here who may have missed a relationship and you are still swimming in that regret. If you don't release yourself from the regret and the remorse of maybe what you did to sabotage your past relationships, you may still sabotage another one. So it's about forgiving yourself first and moving on. And this last one is something that is very significant for seasoned singles: the fear of being alone forever. This fear has driven people into relationships out of fear. You think you're afraid that time is running out. Oh, somebody said to me, my worst fear is to die alone. And I'm like, okay, I hear your fears. Your fears are valid. What are you doing with about relationship? And she said to me, all of these things I keep reading about choosing the right one or being in thriving relationship, I just think they are for the books. Are there really this kind of people out there? And my heart sank, because you cannot attract what you don't believe in. If you are here as a seasoned single and you think that all the good men are already taken, all the good women are already taken, I'm afraid you may just be setting yourself up for settling for less. Haven't you sometimes seen people who have achieved a lot in life, in career, in business, in other areas, and then you see the people that they are with and you're wondering, what's going on here? Some of these fears could be responsible for that. So I don't know any of the fears that you can identify with. Are you afraid of dating again? Are you afraid of making the same mistake again? Are you afraid of being rejected? Are you afraid of being alone? Or are you afraid that you will miss the right one, or you have already missed the right one? Especially for those who believe that you have a soulmate. And once you miss your soulmate, you have missed it forever. If there is any of the fears you can identify with, let me tell you how we can deal with those fears. When you come into the dating world, it's important for you as a seasoned single to realize that everyone, no, let me rephrase that. Most people you meet may be wearing a mask. And it's until you can remove your own mask that you can see clearly to choose clearly. So my task as we progress on this conversation is to show you some of the mask that you may need to take away, that you are wearing, that if you don't take it away, will keep you in those fear. Most people do not know that they have a mask on. When Samadina was dealing with all the stuff about being in a relationship, she was baffled to hear that perhaps she was wearing a mask. And she was like, what mask? I have gone through school. I have done well for myself. I have a thriving career. I have done this, done that. So why is relationship unconquerable for me? Unfortunately, when you step out as a seasoned single with your mask still on and you do not remove that mask, life will not spare you the consequences of the ignorance of that mask. And especially self-ignorance, which is often unconscious. So I'm going to break this down. There are certain patterns in your life that if you don't bring them to the forefront, will continue to sabotage your attempts at getting into the right relationship, will keep you perpetually in those fears that I just lifted. And it's not like you can just put one AI tool over your face, and you are able to see the marks. These marks are invisible, but they are there. But tonight, my next work is to expose you to those masks, especially the ones that are found in your life, so that you can take it away and now be able to see yourself clearly and be able to see the other person clearly. So somebody had said earlier when I was asking, what do you want to take out of this time together? And she said she wants to be able to know what seasoned singles should bear in mind. Let me go back to that. I want to know key considerations for a seasoned single to choose the appropriate partner. Okay. And some other person wants to know practical tips on how not to marry a wrong wife. Okay. And another person wants to know how to navigate a long distance relationship. And I have the fear of dating after wasting my time on a 6-year relationship without a proposal. All right, so I will be seeking to answer those questions even as we progress, okay? So let's look at the second thing I said we will be discussing tonight, which is the 5 self-ignorant patterns that can land you in the wrong relationships without you knowing. So for Tochukwu, who is asking, how do I not marry the wrong wife? I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Not marrying the wrong wife has not so much to do with the woman you choose to settle down with as much as it has to do with you ensuring that these 5 patterns are not in your life. Because when these patterns are in your life, you by yourself will choose the wrong woman without knowing. But when you have dealt with these 5 patterns, then you can see clearly the person that is right for you. Because whilst everybody has their strengths, has what makes them unique, there are people suited together because of an alignment. But if you don't deal with these patterns, you will choose, even if it is a wonderful woman, but she's not right for you. So I would like for you to pay attention to this. Someone asked, what are the key characteristics that a seasoned single should see in a potential partner? Let's first of all deal with many of the things that many people who are in the relationship space, many people who want to get married hardly pay attention to. If I draw from the questions that the people who have responded, it is about how do I know the other person? How do I not choose the wrong person? How do I not? So many a times when people think of relationships, especially seasoned singles who have achieved other things in life and want to ensure that, where I am right now, I need somebody that can align with my purpose. Where I am right now, I need somebody that can align with the quality of life that I already have. Where I am right now, I need somebody that can align with my mental capacities. Where I am right now, I need somebody that is mature. But guess what? Choosing the right person for you does not begin with the traits in the other person. Choosing the right person for you begins with you. Because if these 5 ignorant patterns that I'm about to share with you are evident in your life, even if God frames the perfect person and puts the person before you, you can sabotage that relationship. You can think that person is too good to be true. You might not even notice that that person exists. So I want you to begin to change your frame of mind right now. I hope that I'm able to help you make this mindset shift, that when it comes to finding the potential person, it starts from finding you. It starts from knowing at your core who you are. It starts from being able to say yes to the things that matter to you and say no to the things that do not matter to you. Because if you do not articulate what makes you you, that is the start of landing in the wrong relationship. And I'm going to use stories as I go ahead to buttress my point. All right, let's go on. I'll come back to the question I'm seeing on my screen, hopefully with the time that we have. So, what are those 5 ignorant patterns? Let's start. First of all, even though you may be getting older as a seasoned single, even though you may be achieving some successes in your life, even though you may show up every day, living life by the minute, by the books, one thing that you need to know is if you're looking for a relationship to make up for your unhappiness and life dissatisfaction, you are going to most likely land yourself in trouble. Because relationships are not a life fixer. If there is some dissatisfaction in your life as a single right now, you need to pay attention to that. Relationship is not going to take away your sadness. Relationship is not going to fix your disconnection with your core. Relationship is not going to make you feel that you're growing personally. Relationship will not make you feel grounded. So if you are looking for a relationship as something that will make you happy, whereas there are areas in your life that you're currently unhappy in, you may be setting yourself up for failure. Because what I have seen happen is that when people set out of themselves and are not fulfilled in themselves and are looking for a relationship to fulfill them, they may end up in the wrong relationship, because relationships are not designed to complete you. Relationships are designed to complement you. So do a deep reflection. Do you feel really happy as a person? Are there other areas of your life that is giving you joy? Or are you just hanging by the thread, looking for this relationship to fix your life dissatisfaction? Girl, young man, you need to pay attention to those areas of your life that is not satisfying you right now, because this one pattern can land you in a miserable relationship. Secondly, I see a lot of seasoned singles who are pretending not to know that their childhood messed them up, who are pretending not to know that they may have played a role in their past relationships just because of childhood trauma that they did not attend to. If you are someone who finds yourself always easily agitated, who finds yourself unable to regulate your emotions, one time you're angry, the next time you're soft, if you are someone who has seen that you find it hard to communicate with people, if you are someone who conflict resolution is a painful, if you are someone who does not even know how to love people, people are showing love to you, but you don't know how to reciprocate. If you're someone who has spent your days people pleasing people because you feel like, oh, if I please them, they will accept me, they will want me in their life. If you're someone who fears rejection, fears abandonment, if you're someone who even that the marriage of your parents is not the kind of marriage you want to have, if you are someone who as a child felt stifled, felt your voice stolen, felt unloved, and you have not sat down to process and address this, I want to let you know that those patterns can sabotage your relationship life. Because when they are childhood wounds that you have not dealt with, they can show up as you being an anxious lover in a relationship where you are clingy and the person you're with gets tired of you and moves on, where you don't seem to feel like you don't have a life outside of this person, or it could make you avoidant. You say openly with your mouth that you want to be in a thriving relationship, but you run away from relationships. When a potential relationship is moving ahead, you do something to sabotage it. You say something to make the person run away. You distance yourself. Or if you're someone who knows that even your memories that you have of your childhood is not one that pleases you, that is a potential saboteur. Even as a seasoned single, I've seen people in their 40s, in their 50s, who are still carrying attachment wounds from how their parents related with them, from the environment they grew up in, until date, is still, they find it hard to be in trusting, healthy relationships. If you don't address this, if you keep pretending that you don't know that there are parts of your life that really are not, didn't give you the right background, I'm sorry, you may still remain single. You may still fear relationship. And even if you find a good one, you may even ruin it yourself. What is another ignorant pattern that people ignore? In this age and time that we hear so much about trauma, 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 do you know if you're someone whose heart is wounded and because of it, your authentic self is not available to love? You want to find the right woman. If you find the right woman, can you be the right man to that woman? Or are you going to sabotage that relationship because of a past betrayal? Or a girl once betrayed you, and because of it, you don't know that unconsciously you've decided that every woman will suffer for that betrayal? Or you're someone who is dealing with father wounds. Your dad was nasty to your mother, and then you feel that every woman deserves that. Or you're someone who the life has been unjust to. I met a young man, and he was saying he didn't know that he was suppressing emotional wounds. And he was saying to me, I don't know why it is that when I am with my woman, I can't get myself to be present. In fact, he thought he was dealing with erectile dysfunction as a result of biological issues, but after he went through this process, he realized that he was dealing with suppressed emotional wounds, and that was why he couldn't even sustain an erection. Because he had bottled this pain for so long. Something that happened to him when he was in boarding house in secondary school, but yet he was still affecting his life. These days, we are having people getting advanced in age, seasoned singles, and then they are coming down with one emotionally induced illness or the other. Today, if it's not back pain, tomorrow it is joint pain, next tomorrow it is ulcer, the other day it is this. Are you aware that suppressed emotional pain also weakens immune system? Also compromises even someone's health, and literally even beyond relationship could be killing you softly. When was the last time you even took your eyes away from looking for the next relationship and asked yourself, am I wounded in my spirit? Why is it that I push people away from me? Why is it that I am with people and then it seems that we're getting along, but suddenly they start ghosting me? Why is it that I get very defensive when somebody says something about money? Why is it that I get so closed up when somebody makes a joke about setting this or that? Because until you are able to identify where your spirit is wounded, you may continue to sabotage your ability to getting into the right relationship. Another very misunderstood one is refusing to master emotional intelligence skills. Someone said to me, anger issues has cost me the best relationships. And I was listening. And this young man went on to tell me how he would have violent outbursts when he was angry. And then his girlfriend will forgive him. At a time, the girl said she couldn't do this and she took a walk. He didn't do anything about it. He has been in 4 different relationships that ended because of his anger issues. Yet, he's still looking for a relationship without realizing that he needs to, first of all, deal with his anger issues. Unfortunately, without knowing, his anger issues were born out of how he internalized his absentee father. Raised by a single mother, his father was rarely in his life. And what research has shown is that most men, not even young, because they can grow to be 60 and still be dealing with father wounds, grow to be violent when they have father wounds unhealed. So I said to him, it's not about how to find the right woman that you need. What you need right now is how to deal with your anger issues. And your anger issues is to be dealt from the roots. So we had to go to the roots. He had to first of all realize it was a pain from his childhood that made him that angry. And then when he got into school, people will mock him because he will come to school, his trousers were longer than normal and everything. He didn't grow up with a father figure, and that even increased the anger issue. So do you know that you could be here wanting to know how to find the right one, but you will sabotage that right relationship if you don't master emotional intelligence? So it's not only anger. How do you deal with anxiety? How do you deal with shame? How do you deal with fear? How do you deal with doubt? How do you deal with all of these emotions? Because if you don't, and you continue to ignore your mental health, you are going to be doomed in the dating space. So I'm asking all of us right now, seasoned singles, yes, you may be earning enough to take care of yourself, put body and soul together. But when last did you do a mental health evaluation? You want to find somebody you will do relationship right with, and you don't know where you are on the depression scale? And you know that depression doesn't show on the face. I just took a young man through depression, anxiety, stress scale, and he was shocked as his results that I had to even refer him to a psychiatrist because he might be needing clinical intervention even whilst he's going through his psychotherapy. And then you know that if you are dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety, it could even make you, sabotage even the most thriving relationships or not even be available. No seasoned single who knows themselves, who is ready for a thriving relationship, wants to baby anyone. So if they are coming into your life and you have baggage and you're not dealing with it, they are taking a walk. Because like I told you, the other lady said, I can't be getting married at 45 and I'm still babying a man who does not know how to handle anxiety. That is too much pressure to deal with. So if you yourself are not on top of your mental health journey, the people that you will likely meet in the dating zone as a seasoned single are also not ready to baby anybody or carry you along. So you need to step up. So where are you on your mental health journey? Someone said to me, like, she met somebody and she's like, you know what? I think I like you. We're getting serious, but I need you to sit with Coach Dinma. And then the man was like, what? She said, I can see traces of anxious attachment style. And I need you to go get therapy. If we're going to move this relationship forward, you need to get therapy. And the young man thought she was joking, and she gave him an ultimatum. If you don't book that session and start your sessions with her, I'm out. And when they came for their joint session, she was like, I mean, I've been through stuff. I've had to deal with my own stuff. I've had to be in therapy myself. So I'm not going to carry along somebody who is not ready to address his past because, gay, who has time for that? And that was how that young man started to deal with his journey. But imagine if she didn't even have the patience to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this. So where are you on your mental health journey as a seasoned single who wants to build a thriving relationship? Very lastly, a lot of, and I think I need to, let me be seeing, okay, I'm not seeing your faces. A lot of seasoned singles are exhausted from identity fatigue. You would think that if somebody is in her 30s, he's in his 30s, you're approaching 35, you're 40, you're 45, you're 50, that at least these people will know themselves. It baffles me to meet a seasoned single who does not have the basic life routines. Like, so I'm asking you a question. So how do you start your day? How do you keep yourself grounded? How do you, and they're like, as I'm speaking Spanish, hello, how do you stay grounded in your authenticity, even as a seasoned single? And many people don't know. They are oscillating between dealing with stress, doing that, and they are confused. Okay, let's say maybe their self-care is not even that good. Then I'm asking, all right, so what are your top values in life? And what is your number one overarching value? And this young man who is heading a tech company does not have a clue consciously on his feet what his top three values are. And he wants to be in a relationship. How do you choose somebody that can complement you when you don't even know what makes you make the decisions you make on a daily basis? And then should I talk about who you are in terms of your identity? I see seasoned singles not like a thing, but they can't say no. Like you are 35, you are in the dating zone, you meet a young man or a young woman, and he's doing something in the relationship that doesn't sit well with you, you lose your voice to say, this is my boundary, I'm not going to do this. Then it already tells me that you are dealing with identity fatigue because you can't be this mature and not be able to assert yourself, then that means there is something fundamental with your confidence level. There is something fundamentally wrong with your assertiveness. And if we are to trace it back, could that have also been why you have taken some other things you've taken in relationships that you shouldn't be taking? So if I ask us now, how do you stay grounded as a single who even is looking to attract somebody else? What are your top values in life? What are the things that make you tick? If you meet a potential relationship today, are you able to state categorically what it is that you want out of this relationship and not say, hey, let them not say I am being too, what's that word that they use? Oh my God, Father Lord, remind me. Desperate. Let them not say I'm too desperate. Let them not say my own is too much. If I ask now about his financials, they will say I am a gold digger. At your age, you want to get into a relationship with somebody who doesn't know their left and right. It has nothing to do with the person, but all to do with you. So if you are exhausted from identity fatigue, then you are going to shoot yourself in the leg. So those are the 5 quick check. So let's quickly run through this quick check. So right now, I need you personally. You don't need to tell me your answer. I need you personally to do this check for yourself. For each of these markers, rate yourself on a scale of 0 to 5, where 0 is completely dissatisfied and 5 is completely satisfied. So let's quickly run through the 5 self-ignorant patterns. Number 1, how satisfied are you with your life right now on a scale of 0 to 5? Give yourself that score. Number 2, do you know how your upbringing and your environment has impacted you negatively? And have you identified and healed any attachment trauma you may have gotten from your upbringing? 0 to 5. Number three, are you still carrying emotional baggage around? If there's totally no emotional baggage you are carrying, that's a 0. If you know that you have a heap load of emotional baggage, that's a 5. If there are some you are carrying and some you have healed with, find your way around 1 to 4. Then the next one, how is your mental health? On a scale of 0 to 5, are you satisfied? Now, I'm not just saying, are you satisfied with where you are on your mental health? Are you satisfied with how you are taking care of your mental health? So those are 2 parts in one. On a scale of 0 to 5, how satisfied are you? Let me rephrase the question. How satisfied are you with how you are taking care of your mental health? And lastly, to what extent do you feel grounded and secure in your identity? So those are questions that you want to answer immediately. And when you answer, there are 5 there. And so the maximum you can get is 25 if all your answers were 5, 5, 5, and the lowest you can get is a 0. So if you add your answers in these 5 markers and you scored anything less than a 20, please pay attention to me. Your life experiences do not have to be a waste. You may have been in other relationships, you may have been waiting to get into the right relationship, but you can't, as a matured single, get into a relationship and mess up. You don't have the luxury of time that an 18-year-old has. You don't have the luxury of time that a 22-year-old has. Like, oh, okay, let me make mistakes. I'll still learn from it. If you're 45, you're 40, you don't have that luxury of time. So that means that you should have your game plan in place so that you can do what needs to be done to get the right relationship. If you've been listening to me, you will know that everything I have said, I have not talked about the person. I am focusing on you because you are the most important person when it comes to finding the right one. If you don't know yourself, if you don't do what what I've said to you, even if God designs that right person and puts him in front of you, you will still likely miss that person. So if you're with me, let's quickly wrap this conversation up. Because if, like I said, you scored anything less than a 20, please do not take it for granted. Please momentarily forget about the other person that you want to attract. Focus on yourself. Because if you scored 20 or less in those 5 areas of your life, what you need now is to rebuild yourself. What you need now is to address those areas in that quick check where you scored the lowest. What you need now is to elevate your personal harmony. There was this young man who ended a relationship even after being in the relationship for 2 years. And he said to me, "Mom, I came to realize that all that while, I was just going with the motions. My friends were getting married. It was looking like I was the only one. And so they were like telling me, you know what? There is no perfect woman out there. Just choose one person and settle with the person. And I was seeing all the red flags. I was seeing the incompatibilities. I'm like, I beg, I beg, I beg. Everybody is carrying their own issues. But after I encountered you, I realized that choosing the person that I would marry is not only because I want to marry, it's a life preservation. Do you know that if you choose the wrong person, you are kind of signing your agreement with the early grave? Because anybody you end up with will affect the rest of your life. And so I say to people, if you have waited this long, if relationships have dealt with you and you are up to this age and this stage in your life, why play gamble with your love life again? Why stumble into that without first of all dealing with these unconscious patterns in your own life? So if you are here with me and you want to rebuild yourself, you want to be able to elevate your personal harmony, you want to leave the other person that you are looking for the right one and make yourself an irresistible person, any of those areas where you scored low, that you need to fix them right now. You need to fix them right now so that you can be at your utmost best. Then let me tell you how the Start Your Marriage Right Academy can do that for you. You're currently not satisfied with how your life is going. You don't even know where you are on the scale of life satisfaction. You need coaching to be able to address those areas of life dissatisfaction. Right now, you keep hearing people say childhood trauma, childhood trauma. How do I even know if I've been through trauma? Somebody was saying to me, do you know I didn't know that how my father used to talk to us was trauma? I just thought he was being a typical African parent. It just took this to open my eyes to see that, oh, I was traumatized as a child. Somebody said to me, do you know that I didn't know that all of that responsibility my parents were putting on me as the firstborn child, I didn't know it was like it going to affect me in life. Now I am somebody who cannot even ask for help. I've been in relationships and my ex-boyfriend was saying I make him look irrelevant. And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, I just do my things. I take my decisions. I don't involve him. But I've always taken my decisions all my life. I grew up as the firstborn. I was the one taking care of things. But this man she was in a relationship with did not feel seen as a man. And he kept talking about it. She thought that he was just being naggy, and it ended their relationship until she realized that she had some bad other trauma that she did not consciously know. Now, she's now the feminine in the relationship. Now, she's taking her place as the woman. Does it mean that she's totally dependent on the man? No. But it took her identifying her birth order trauma for her to step into her place as the authentic female. And I can go on, but let me show you how we can do that for you. So, if you are that seasoned single, and you have identified where you are in all these self-sabotaging, ignorant patterns, or you have all those fears that I mentioned, I'm going to show you how we can deal with those fears and what we would help you do within the next 8 weeks. Because you can't continue to do dating the way you have been doing it. You can't continue to stay either lonely or in the dating world the way it has been. So first of all, what we are going to do with you is to help you evaluate your life satisfaction. We're going to help you check where you are on the life satisfaction scale, and you will get coaching to help increase that, because relationship will expose your dissatisfaction, because relationship will not fix the unhappiness in your life. So let's help you see where you are on the scale and give you tips on how to begin to address them before you even get into any committed relationship. Of course, I've spoken so much about your mental health. We're going to evaluate your mental health, especially depression and anxiety. And then based on your results, you would get coaching on what to do to ensure that you rise above depression or you don't even slide to depression, and also how to handle anxiety. There is also a part of that where we teach you the basic of emotional intelligence, how it is that you are able to know yourself, know your emotional triggers, choose yourself to regulate your emotions appropriately, to apply consequential thinking, and also to be able to give yourself fully. Then you will go through a process to check for your any unhealthy family patterns. We're not saying that everybody, all your, excuse me, all your family patterns are unhealthy. No, they are healthy ones that you need to keep. But there are also unhealthy ones that you don't know exist. You're going to be able to check what attachment style you have growing up and how that attachment style has been showing up in your past relationships. We're going to be able to check if you are having an avoidant attachment style. Excuse me. Kobe, get me a glass of water, please. Sorry about that. So we're going to check if you have an avoidant attachment style, which makes you afraid of rejection, and what the fear of rejection may have been costing you in your relationships, and how to deal with it so that it doesn't show up in the next relationship. Of course, if it is avoidant you have, we will help you trace the origin of the fear of abandonment so that you don't get into relationships as a people pleaser, but you will be there as your authentic self. And if you have gone through childhood in an abusive home, in a domestically violent home, the markers it leaves in you is important to be dealt with so it doesn't sabotage your relationship life. All of that is embedded in this program. Of course, again, you're going to get therapy. Yes, I hear people saying, oh, therapy is expensive, is this. You are going to get in this program at least therapy that will help you heal your childhood wounds. I don't know what you suffered as a child. I don't know the dreams you had as a child that could not materialize, that right now is still draining your life. I don't know what happened to you when you were in secondary school, growing up, when you went to university, in your work life. I don't know what you've gone through. I don't know if you've gone through rejection or abandonment. I don't know if you've gone through humiliation, if you've been betrayed severally, if life has been unjust to you. But these are emotional baggage that you're carrying. I can money back guarantee you that the therapy you're going to get in Nadem Go to Rush You will heal you of that. Even if you have been bitter towards your ex, be resentful towards your parents, bitter towards a sibling, resentful towards a system, you are also going to get therapy to heal that. Because when we are able to check all of this and take it off the way, then we begin to deal with your identity fatigue. Because we would help you identify your superpowers. No seasoned single should be going out to the dating world without a conscious knowing of your non-negotiables. And not only not knowing your non-negotiables, you need to have the confidence to speak to your non-negotiable. Like I literally gave this young lady a hug when she shared the story with me. Here she was, achieved in her career, moving up. In fact, having dual citizenship of a very dream country. And then she meets this man who was introduced to her. And the man is also thriving in his own career. And they are talking, and things are jiving. And then the man said something about some other person, and she's like, oh, that's not it, it didn't come out right. I think you need to apologize to the person. And the man goes all on her. What do you mean? Da, 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 da. And another day she said to him, I guess maybe you were angry the other day, but I didn't like how you spoke to me. And on, she was trying to get the man to apologize. The man didn't apologize. And she said to me, I had to say to him, I can't do this relationship. The young man thought she was joking because he felt like, okay, at her age, she needed somebody. They were jiving in other areas and all of that. But she stood her ground that if you didn't feel that invalidating my feelings and not seeing a need to apologize for the aggressive way you spoke to me, then she can't do this relationship. And I stood up and said to her, that is one confident woman who is secure in her self-awareness. Because it's not just enough to be a seasoned single, it's being able to stand for what you believe in and being able to speak for what you believe in. But unfortunately, if your life has been shut down, unknown to you, by the voices that continue to speak to your head, by unconscious trauma that has stolen your voice, you can be 35, you can be 50, and people will still turn you to a doormat and you're not able to speak up. That will end because you'll be able to regain your power again. So you're going to also know your relationship beliefs. We're going to help you craft your personal purpose statement. As a seasoned single, what you should be looking for is not just love. Oh. You should be looking for someone that you can do purpose with. You should be looking for someone that can complement you in your place of calling. Because you don't want to be in a relationship and be fighting with someone because maybe you want to do this in your career and the person is saying, hey, don't do this. Like, you're already established in your ways in terms of your career, your business, or whatever. So you need somebody that complements you. But I'm sorry, some seasoned singles do not even know what makes life feel purposeful for them. And so you still get out into the dating world and you're acting like you are 18. So this program is going to help you craft your personal purpose statement so that even you know what makes life meaningful for you. And then when you get in this relationship with this person, you already know because you are assertive and confident to say, this is my direction. This is where I'm heading to. Can we do this together? So that you don't waste your time in the dating zone with just anybody without any clarity of direction. And lastly, you're going to create what I like to refer to as your unique attraction blueprint. Look, you are not in the age where you should just be wasting time up and down and be going, oh, let's try new restaurants. I'm not saying you shouldn't go out. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun, but really, how you do relationship changes as a seasoned singles. As a seasoned single, the kind of conversation you have changes. You're not just talking on the surface, you're going deep. You're able to share your direction. You're able to share your likes, your dislikes. You're able to talk about your turn-offs. You're able to talk about your dream list. What are those things you want to achieve in life? You're able to talk about money, what money means to you, what your wealth plan. You should be able to talk about even your conflict resolution style, how you like people to talk to you. You should be able to talk about, oh, when you need your space, this is how you like your partner to give you space, because Maturity isn't only in age. Maturity should also come with the confidence of being secure in who you are. So we're going to help you create what I call your unique attraction blueprints. Some school of thought feel that this is a beg or relationship should not be that serious. But I'm telling you, if you're a seasoned single, you don't have time to waste to just be testing relationships up and down. So you should be able to have that blueprint that contains your life. All I just described now, your communication style, how you like to be spoken to, how you like to recharge, and everything. What it will do for you, even if it means presenting it to the person that you're dating before you decide if to take the relationship to another level, it's that serious. But beyond that, it even helps you know yourself better. So that when you're having conversations with someone and you're speaking confidently about yourself, you're able to know if this person is resonating. It saves you those fears. So for Ifunaya that said, oh, my fear is wasting my time in relationship, with your intimacy playbook, you don't waste time because now you know yourself deep enough and you know what to present to the person to know if we're jiving enough. For those people who are saying, oh, I don't want to make another mistake, when you come to that place of secure identity, when you're able to process and take the lessons from your past hurts and even check how your upbringing and environment has influenced you, then you know the mistakes you made, not from a surface level, but from the roots. And then you are able to change them from the roots. So the chances of making the mistakes again is no longer there. What are the other fears? You fear that you will be rejected. When somebody does not fit into your life and you have come to that place of secure identity, you know what? It's good riddance to bad rubbish, because anybody who exits your life from a when you have come into that person's life from a place of secure identity, from a place of wholeness, that person wasn't meant to be. So it's not about being rejected. It's about the person ejecting themselves because they don't fit this renewed you, this whole you, this self-aware you. So you see that every of those fears you had or have about being a seasoned single and venturing into dating is at the mercy of your authentic self. Because once you deal with the past and you are secure in your authenticity, then you will trash those fears. And this is how we can support you to do that. What else do I need to tell you so that I know if we have time to take questions? Oh, my time is fast spent. So we started this journey by me telling you about Somadina. And I took you to that journey. Now, Somadina, like I said, turned 40 some months back. In spite of all what she went through in the past 3 years in relationships, she is now in a thriving relationship. They've not fixed any date yet, but with even immediately she got into this relationship, she said, what, you know what, Cody, I'm not going to do this relationship like I was doing. Let's just be getting to know ourselves. Once I have determined that, oh, we have certain things in place, this is working, we're starting coaching with you. So right now, I am the personal relationship coach whilst they are navigating, getting to know, and all that. And we're progressing fine. And we are looking forward. I am looking forward to their engagement happening any soon. But how was this possible? It was because Somadina had to deal with her firstborn daughter syndrome. She had to realize that although she did not like how her father was as a husband to the mother, because that is the semblance of a husband that her subconscious knew. She was attracting abusive men like her father. But until she identified that and had to forgive her father, go through a process to release the resentment and bitterness she felt for her dad, that was only when her trajectory to start attracting healthy, secure men started. Of course, again, she had to also learn to switch off from the corporate Somadina, who had many men under her, who she was leading, who were subordinates, who she could give query, to stepping into her feminine side in the relationship. Because unconsciously, she was coming into the relationship and was giving orders to this man and was being all of that. But she had to learn to switch. She had to learn to do all of these things for her to now be in this thriving relationship. So this can be you. So I'm going to just quickly run you through. There are so many testimonials I can give, but let me quickly share this. This was also from a young guy who also realized that he was sabotaging his relationships. And though he was getting older, it wasn't helping him find the right relationship. So what will Nadem go dey rush you do for you? As a seasoned single who really wants to find love, these are the three things I money back guarantee you. That it will not only make you more self-aware to know yourself and know who you are and what to take and how to stand out in the dating world, it will make you self-confident to speak up when you need to speak up, and to walk away when you need to walk away. And because like attracts like, when you step out as a self-aware, self-confident seasoned single, you're going to attract those kind of people. You may not have been attracting them because you have not been expressive enough. So this course will also show you how to become more expressive. And at the end of the 8 weeks that you're spending with us, if you don't become more self-aware, if you don't become more self-confident, if you don't become more self-expressive, and more so, we are also going to help you craft your future relationship manifestation strategies. There is an exercise that we do where you envision and map out your future relationship, and then we train your subconscious on how to manifest that future relationship. And then as a team, we will be staying back, looking forward to your invitation to that thriving relationship. And of course, when you're walking down the aisle with that person who you chose from an authentic place, that person who you chose as a whole person, that person who complements you, not that person you think will come and complete you, because at the end of this of this course, you will find completeness in yourself, because you will be able to trash out those parts of you that make you feel incomplete and elevate those parts that will bring out your completeness. So, is there a question for me before I move on? Okay, so Tochukwu, you can reach us here. I'm seeing your message. You could also go to social media. Our handles is Start Your Marriage Right Academy across Instagram, across social media. So Ryo, put the handles there, the Start Your Marriage Right Academy handle and my handle as well. You can reach us for the question. So if you are here and you've come to the realization that you have been focusing so much on the other person, whereas where you should focus on as a seasoned single is on yourself. Even when people take you through matchmaking, you cannot be matchmaked effectively if you are an insecure, half-aware, wounded person. That even an effective matchmaking must first of all take you through this process of becoming more self-aware, self-confident, and self-expressive. So if you've realized that maybe I've been looking at the other person when I should be looking inwards, and if you want to attract your Mr. or Mrs. Right, from a whole person perspective, starting from the inside out, then this is for you. So I'll just quickly tell you how the program runs. It's an 8 weeks program, and we meet on every Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m. West African time. So you're going to have some videos to watch, but I will be there to take you through the weekly classes where we will be touching all the things that I have discussed earlier, okay? So it is exclusively for seasoned singles. We're not going to take in younger people for it because we want to have hard conversations. We want to have mature conversations. We want to talk to people that have rich life experiences and help them to use their experiences to attract their right person. So as much as I encourage you to show up for the live coaching sessions every Saturday, it will still be recorded and will still give you a 1-year access to it. But it will be nice for you to be there live, because when you are there live, I will be addressing your questions live and direct. And of course, again, for the period of the 8 weeks, we will be together in the season singles community on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp community is not a live community. It's just going to be active for the period of this training for 8 weeks. And then 4 weeks after the training, I will still be there to guide you on how you are taking on your future relationship manifestation strategies. So we're going to be in that WhatsApp group for 12 weeks, the 8 weeks of the course, and extra 4 weeks to ensure that everything that you are taught and learned in the program, you are going to use it well. All right. So how much does this cost? For seasoned singles, it's a 80,000 naira for the 8 weeks training. However, if you have attended this webinar, if you know that this is what you need, because you have tried every other thing. You have tried to read books about how to find the right person. You have tried to attend seminars, but this is this one place that is telling you that what you need is to elevate your personal harmony. Then you have a 72 hours window to get a 20% discount. So you're here, you want to take this training, you want to have access to me in that WhatsApp group for 12 weeks. And need I tell you that a consultation call just for you to have a 60 minutes time with me to tell me what is going on with you, what you want me to do with you. Currently, you can see it on our website anywhere. It is 120,000 naira for me to even listen to what you're saying. But right now, under this program, because of the mandate we have to prepare seasoned singles, you get not only the training, you have access to me in the WhatsApp group, in the seasoned singles WhatsApp group for 12 weeks at 64,000 if you are making your payment within 72 hours. So the choice is yours. You do this, prepare yourself, or you wait for me after the training to just have a moment to talk to me for 120,000. So if this feels like what you need now, please scan the one-time payment, or you just chat Ifunanya to give you the payment details. And the payment details will be dropped in the chat right now. I have a 5 minutes left to leave you, but I would end this and see if I can take some questions. You're here. Maybe you don't want to pay you want to give us some extra money. You say, why should I pay 64,000 now when I can pay 80,000? This is so much value for 64,000. Okay, you can pay in 2 installments of 40,000 naira each. So the choice is yours. Are you going to lash on to the 72 hours deal and pay 64,000 now, which expires in 72 hours, or you pay 40,000 twice to join the class. When is this season singles class starting? On the 20th of October. It is 2 weeks from now. The goal is that we don't want you to enter 2026 still having the challenges you had in relationships in 2025. We want you to start 2026 ready. That is why we have put it at this time, that we start off 2 weeks from now, October 20th, before Christmas. You have elevated your personal harmony. You have crafted out your future relationship manifestation strategies. You have put it out and you have started activating it, and you are ready for a healthy relationship before 2026. That's why we are doing this. So if that is you, please reach out to us. Admin, you want to share the payment details as much as you're also sharing the link for those who want to take advantage now. So I'm going to be wrapping up before I take your questions in the next 3 minutes, if any. So this is it. Like I said, one-time payment. This is valid for 72 hours. Today is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. By Wednesday morning, this offer will be off. So don't come on Wednesday and say, can I pay 64,000? No, from Wednesday you can't. You can only pay that between now and Tuesday. From Wednesday, we are back to 80,000, but you also can pay your flex payment of 40,000. See, your pain, your frustrations, and any failed relationships you have had must count for something. Don't let those experiences waste. I say to seasoned singles, you are not starting from scratch. Because sometimes they come crying and they say, Mama, I'm starting all over. I heard somebody say, oh, I spent 6 years in a relationship without a proposal. Or am I going to start all over? I say to them, you're starting from wisdom. Don't see it that you are starting all over. See that you're starting from wisdom. But unfortunately, some seasoned singles do not know how to tap the wisdom from their past experiences. That's what we're going to show you here. Because every pain you have been through, every frustration, every failed relationship you've had, it must count for something. Don't let it waste. Don't get into another failed relationship because you didn't use the wisdom from the past, because you didn't know how to tap the wisdom. And if you've allowed your failed relationships to define you, I want to help you reconnect back to your authentic self. Because a whole, healed, and authentic you can choose a relationship from a place of abundance. Never believe that good men are finished. Never believe that good women are finished. That is a statement of trauma. That is a statement of somebody that has felt defeated from their inner spirit. But if you are healed and whole, you will always think abundance. You will know that they are thriving people. And then you will choose from abundance and not from lack. You will not settle because you think, let me just grab the one I have. No, you are wonderfully and fearfully made. There is a right person out there for you, but you have to first of all be healed. You have to first of all be whole. And you have to first of all connect back to your authenticity. And I want to help you use the wisdom from your past experiences. So if you're going to be joining me on the 20th of October for that 8 weeks training and an additional 4 weeks access to me in your WhatsApp group, where I would help you put into action your future relationship manifestation goals, then let's do this journey. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Dinma. I am the lead founder of the Start Your Marriage Right Academy, and I have for over 20 years and counting helped people build thriving relationships. You can check out our social media, Start Your Marriage Right Academy, across social media. My handle is Dinma. Let me help you. Use the wisdom from your past experiences to attract and keep the right person who will give you peace and joy in your life. So I don't know. Okay, so my time is up. Okay, so Are we getting the recording? No, 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 no. So, like I said, the recording will only be available for 72 hours and only to those who registered. So if you registered, you have been getting our emails. We will share the link to this recording with you, and the link will expire exactly on Tuesday. So once the link expires, you will not be able to watch it. So if there's something you want to catch up, please go and watch the replay within 72 hours, and it will disappear after 72 hours. Remember, you have a 72-hour window as well to sign up for Nadem Go to Rush You at the 20% discount, valid only to those who are here on this webinar and those who want to ensure that they don't make the same mistakes as a seasoned single. So from me and my team, thank you for having you, and I hope to see you in this program where I will hold your hand personally for 12 weeks in the WhatsApp group to prepare you for lasting love in 2026. Thank you, everyone, and talk to you sometime soon.